You know what, Barry? Fitness doesn't have to be complicated or intimidating.
Well,
Let's talk about it. This show's for beginners, people stepping into the gym for the first time, sorting through the diet fads, wanting to feel stronger and healthier. Here is where we get down to the basics, the training, the nutrition, the recovery, and the mindset. Leading the way, NPC bodybuilding champion and seasoned coach here to guide us. His competition highlights include out of his last 10 shows, two runner-ups and eight first-place titles, along with a host of other accolades, placements, and accomplishments. And in his 50th year in the gym training consistently, welcome and all aboard the train with Rosemary episode. Hello, Barry. Hello, Rosemary.
Hello, how are you doing?
Doing
how about
great. I've
that?
heard a lot
You know,
about you.
this
Nice to meet you.
this
Likewise.
this only was able to be happening because you agreed to pay her appearance fee. That was Don. That was really nice that you seriously do that because when we made her famous, she hired an agent. Now she's got a fee, and I appreciate you picking it up.
Wow, that definitely wasn't in my
Did you get
setup here,
notes
but
on that?
we'll go ahead and make some notes on that. It was my pleasure. I'm glad to help in any way,
All right.
but seriously, what a treat today. We've heard a lot about Rosemary through the last few episodes. It's exciting for me to finally meet you and to hear a little bit about your story and your journey. Tell us a bit about yourself.
Well, I came along from a family full of diabetes, and from there, I decided to kind of not go the route that they're going. So, in the age of 72, I began to try to do different things of learning how to eat right, and but it wasn't working for me. It just seemed like instead of me getting where I needed to go, I was more frustrated. So at work one day, and I was listening at Barry, and I was like, okay. And I started asking him questions about different little things. And it seemed like that when I began to ask him the questions and he began to answer them, it began to click in me that I can do that, because I wanted to. But when you want to do something and you're fearful in doing it and changing a habit, and you're supposed to doing the right thing. So, but after speaking with him and him talking to me, and I had to tell my fears, get back, we're going to do this. So that's what started me on the journey. And then different things of learning on what to eat. And he'd asked me, what was I eating? And I told him, and he said, well, that's the problem. You don't eat enough. So, and I was just wondering, all the food he was talking about eating, I said, now I'm going to get really full at first, but I really didn't. I mean, after learning the amount of food to be trying to eat a day, I started trying to get it right. Some I missed and some I didn't. But anyway, it all added up way me wanting to do it and getting my mind right and facing my fears that I can't do it at the age that I were. So, but it was looking at my family life history, and I didn't want to go down that road. So it was a determination of making the right choices and getting the advice from Barry and listening. And then I was doing exercise, but when he kept talking about the weights, I was kind of fearful in the weight part because I didn't want to be a bodybuilder. I just, so I left the weights alone. And if I did do weights, it was very little minimum. So after speaking with him, and he was saying that you kind of train your body through the weights, and I was asking him that, okay, how do you determine the amount of weights that you're supposed to use? So after he was telling me, you try different ones. So I did, and some was heavy and some was a little light. Okay, so I began to realize then what part was a little too heavy. So I began to kind of maximize that with it. And I heard him on one of the broadcasts said, at the end, the wrap, try to lift it up a little. Okay, so I tried that and it worked a little, like 5 pounds, a little bit. And that worked for me. So in learning from that and walking through that, it has really helped me a lot to kind of stay on course.
That's
I'm
incredible.
not going to say it's been easy, But one day at a time, that's what Barry says. So
That's
that's my
right.
step, one day at a time.
Now, Barry, is it pretty normal for the experience that you've had with some clients that her story, her journey there, is that pretty normal? It seems like something that a lot of people would deal with. Diabetes is a big thing. My mom had diabetes, it caused her a great amount of difficulty. She was on medication. And weights, Rosemary, you're talking about weights, feeling like you didn't want to be a bodybuilder, didn't quite know how to incorporate the weights into the diet plan. Is that something that's typically normal for folks like this?
Yeah, I would say definitely, especially, everybody, but women especially, they're afraid of weights, they're afraid to go heavier, they're afraid to, as she says, bodybuilding, get muscles and get bigger. And that's such a fallacy. It just doesn't work like that. You just got to trust it. Like I said, I've always said, the heavier you train, the more muscle fiber you involve, the leaner and tonier you're going to be. But you got to keep pushing it up. But as far as normal, I would say, honestly, I mean, we talk a lot about her on the broadcast, but for the way she just jumped in and is all in, she said, "Is it easy?" No, it's a process. So, but is that normal with my clients? It's rare that you'll find somebody that just goes from, A to Z in a sense of eating nothing to just eating. Just whatever the app said, Lose It app says, that's what I'm going to do. It's pretty cool. It's not, that's not normal. But the other part definitely would be normal. People are scared they just equate training heavier to getting bigger, and it actually works exactly the opposite.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting from it. Now, Rosemary, Barry mentioned the Lose It app. Is that something that you were using when he mentioned it? Did you go into looking into that, and has that helped at all?
Yes, I did. Matter of fact, he downloaded it on my phone,
He took
and
your
I
phone and
did
downloaded it for you.
because I didn't know the amount of food. So once he downloaded on my phone, I began to use it. And it's like once you get your meals, you take a picture of it, and it kind of analyzes what you're eating. And that was great to me to know the amount that I was eating, that really I wasn't eating enough. So now I have a good little bit of 400 calories in the mornings.
What's
So
your what is your preferable breakfast? If you have that 400 calories in the morning, what's your go-to meal? What do you like how do you like to spend those 400 calories?
well, my main breakfast meal is salmon, spinach, and eggs.
Really?
Yes.
Simon, spinach and eggs.
Yes. Now that's mostly what I eat, mostly all the time. At lunch I'll have like a chicken salad.
Chicken salad. Do you usually put that, do you have anything with that or just the chicken salad out of a bowl? Is that pretty much how you do that?
Yes, I have it in the salad in the bowl, and then like a snack, I'll have like a yogurt, Greek yogurt. And for dinner, are you asking me all my meals?
Yeah, just curious to how you work
Okay.
that in, because I tell you what, you mentioned at the beginning that you found after talking to Barry that his estimation that you may not be bringing in enough. And that was a surprise to you. So it's a surprise to me too. After talking to Barry, I don't know if you saw the episode where we kind of went over my breakfast, but he roasted me pretty good over the fact that I went so long without having breakfast. He says I'm wrecking my metabolism. He kind of gave me a better idea of how to structure that. And honestly, it was surprising to me to kind of reprogram myself into thinking more food is not necessarily bad.
Right, because I was thinking that the more you eat, the bigger I will get. So
Right.
I was figuring the less I eat, I'll be good. So I skip breakfast and I normally will just eat lunch. And my
Oh
lunch
my
will,
gosh, that's what I was doing.
yes, and my lunch will be very light. And then I'll go to dinner, and then sometime my dinner is kind of late. So and it kind of heavy light. So within about a couple of hours, I'm going to bed. So
I
then I
see.
had to learn to kind of up my dinner schedule to at least don't eat after 6.
Okay, yeah, Barry mentioned that too, and I gotta tell you that. is easier said than done.
True.
I think, like as I've said, though, if you can get what, most people, what she's doing, where you're eating earlier, getting all most of your food in, breakfast, lunch, snack, and you have that early dinner, you're not going to be as hungry because you pretty much have met up your calorie. You just, first of all, your body adjusts to it. It's rare, like I said, when after I eat at 6 o'clock, do I ever eat 6:30? Do I ever eat anything? Like I could be up till 8, 9, 10. If I'm working an event, I could be up to 11 or 12. It's not like I never think about, man, I sure would like to eat. Just doesn't anything I think about. You know what I mean? I just go about my way because I know I got all my food in. I make an effort to get all my stuff in before I know where I'm going, where I'm going to be. But I would like, and this could totally backfire on me, you, and everybody. But Rosemary, how long did it take you before you started seeing any change in your body? Or
Well,
you felt like was change?
I'll say about 2.5 weeks, I began to notice in my waistline, the belt began to get low. I was able to have less in there. So, and as it went from there, and then like now I'm like about a one dress size down.
And how long have we been doing that? It's been 6 weeks.
About 6 weeks.
Is that possible, Eric?
So you're in 6 weeks
in 2.5
now,
weeks?
which is what, a month and a half?
Yes, I was very excited.
Well, what I tell you about when you asked me, I think last week before, I said if people aren't seeing change in the first 4 to 6 weeks, there's something wrong with the program. I mean, there just is. If anybody's out there, anybody's doing whatever, they're just kind of treading and getting nowhere, then there's a point where you got to sit down and take a look at what you're doing, because it should, as it is for her. Dress size, that's pretty cool in 6 weeks. Like I said, is it possible? It's possible for everybody, but is that the norm? I'm not sure that's the norm, because if it was the norm, 93% of people who go to the gym every day would be getting results, and they're not. So that's the sad part of it to me.
Well, it's incredible that can still happen, because I mean, I'm 52 now, and I'm always thinking that those kind of results, especially at that speed, 2.5 weeks to feel some change in your clothes is incredibly fast. Did you feel, Rosemary, did you feel like you were making that big of a change in your lifestyle to kind of see that coming? Or did you feel like the change in your lifestyle that you were making were subtle enough to where that was a surprise to you?
Well, it was subtle enough to be a surprise because it was something that I've always wanted, was never able to reach it, and it used to frustrate me. So I even stopped getting on the scales because that used to really frustrate me.
Yeah, I was
So,
asking Barry about that myself, how often we should get on the scale. Barry said toss the scale pretty much in the closet, maybe once every a couple months.
yeah, that frustrated me with that scale thing. But
Yeah, yeah.
once I began to get the clothes, and especially it was like I went to an outfit that I knew was too tight, and then I put that one on, and then I had room in it. So that's when I know right then it was working.
And that goes back to something that you said, Barry. That type of short-term goal or motivation is really something that I think breaks down the entire process into, I think I said before, bite-size goals and accomplishments. So it doesn't seem like such a big, huge change to your diet or shock to your daily routine.
Yeah, I think so. And as she speaks about that, that's to me a pretty cool. I mean, it's very cool. The worry I would have is that you get complacent. You know what I mean? And not hungry enough to want more, because the sky's the limit for her in a sense. Hopefully, she's going to continue to tweak and eat, if she's not already eating all her calories, but even again, eat more. To be honest with you, if you want to continue to rev your engine or put more wood on your fireplace to burn, I'm not saying a lot, but I'm just saying to trigger it to. That's where the work comes now, as far as finalizing the food, getting it where you're really down in the program, like she talks about for breakfast. And again, this is all, I think it's very cool. It's very inspiring, even for me to hear her talk about it seriously, because We don't talk about it much. I mean, I joke with her when I see her as far as her face is leaned out and I can see the change in her. But it's about, to have the same brain. If you can just get used to what, just do what works. That's what I say. Like I said, my brother asked me the other day, I think we didn't talk about it last week, and we want to continue to talk about Rosemary. But my brother, who has never worked out ever in his life, I mean, he was a big sports star and in a school, he's 72 or 70, just turned 73 this week. Never even showed an interest as long as I've been bodybuilding, doing everything I've ever done, food, whatever. And then he starts listening to podcasts. And now he's just blowing my phone up. He's changing his food. He's asking me about the electrolytes. Where'd I go buy them? Where'd I get my shakes? And man, that dude's on it. I mean, he's just kind of like she did, just doing it. His more about energy and feeling better. He's pretty lean, generally speaking, but he just doesn't, as you get older, doesn't have, he's lost that muscle. So he doesn't, and not able to do the things he used to do. So that was very cool for me to be able to see that take place. So for her, it's just about, or would be for most people, being able to continue, enough never being enough. One dress size should be 2, should be 3, to where she get, and then it becomes maintenance after that. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's what I hope that it will continue. I think it will. I think she's hungry enough to want to see the change. But that's what I've always talked about. The more I see people see, I would hope once we get, and this is all my clients, and you think, man, they're going to really jump on this, and we're really going to see how far we can go. It's not always the case. It's, believe it or not, it just, some go backwards, step forward and 2 back. And it's a small percentage of people, unfortunately, that can ride that wave day in
Yeah,
and day
well,
out.
I got to be honest, some of the things, the way that you break it down to kind of understand the science behind it, and I'm sure I see you nodding in agreement there, Rosemary. The way that he breaks down some of this science
Mhm.
is kind of mind-blowing to think that these are accurate things, but you can look at Barry and see that it's probably working for him. It might take 4 episodes for him to finally get to the point. You might have to listen to 4 or 5 episodes worth, but eventually you kind of understand. And just like, he mentioned his brother is all over it right now. But I tell you, the motivation I'm sure that Rosemary would continue to have is the fact that you've promised to donate per every pound that she lost here to a charity, which is very nice of you, Barry. Very nice of you.
Now here we go. I guess I had that one coming, didn't I?
I'll write that down in my notes. But no, it's very encouraging to hear that just making the changes, because he has a way of not complicating the process.
True.
And I see a lot of people online, a lot of people at the gym, trainers or whatnot, and when they start talking about some of the things that are necessary, it almost seems like it's just too far out there. You think you need 30 minutes in the gym every day. Barry told me twice a week. How often do you lift weights, or how often do you work out, Rosemary?
Twice a week.
Twice.
Yes.
Barry, I'm still floored at that one.
Well, I mean, I'm
Why does
telling you,
that
that's all
work?
it takes. But, I'm with you on that. I've said this forever, and that's one reason I wanted to be able to, us to do, we've talked about this for a year about doing a podcast, finally got together to do it. But as I like to simply say, it's not that difficult. It's not as difficult as everybody makes it. All the books, all the ideas, all the different ways people think. It's just a calorie cut in, calorie out. Get your food right. Show up at the gym a couple days a week. Do total body, and it just works. It doesn't work for some and not others. It works for everybody. So people want to complicate it, and I'm still stunned in 2025 that people are still searching. I read this newsletter I read today, and it was talking about the thing where I talked about, which was diets and the yo-yo dieting, and everybody gets on a new diet every 6 months, and they lose weight and they gain weight and they lose it. They put another 10 pounds back on. And this was this whole article on why that happens, all the research they've done, something I've known about, not ego-wise, just it isn't that difficult. You know what I mean? It makes totally sense. Every time get off your diet and start eating again, you're going to put on put on fat. But in the meantime, all the weight you did lose mostly is fat. Fat muscle. And you put on, but when you lose, you're going to lose some fat, some muscle. But when you gain, you're only gaining fat, unless you are, because each diet, they said, it's causing your body to, it puts muscle on slower than we'll put body fat on
See, that
because
makes
of the
sense.
yo-yoing.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So, again, but I read that and I'm like, most people don't understand that or know it, but I'm like, man, I'm reading stuff that I've been preaching for 15, 20 years. That's the frustrating thing. I realize it's a business. I forget what we're up to now, the billions of dollars that are spent on the health, fitness industry, as far as trying to create a way to find people to get in shape. And I'm telling you, it's just not that difficult, but we mucked it up in a sense. If you go back old school bodybuilding back in the 60s and 70s, it was just basic food and training. That's all, what I mean? Diet and training. That's all they ever did. There's no all these chemicals and all the, pre-workout stuff you put on to get yourself pumped up and fired up to be able to work out. They didn't have any of that stuff. And to me, I think it's more of a hindrance than it is I used to try it and I did it back in the day, but I got toward the end where it was just there was some days I thought I was going to have a heart attack in there, no joke, just because you get so ramped up. And so what used to be a good product is now they keep making it more intense, more intense, more intense. Now they're calling it Jekyll Hyde and all these crazy names of stuff to take.
Is that a real one?
Yeah, called Jekyll Hyde. And it's, but there's even worse names than that. But, I'm just saying it's because they want people to realize, hey, we've stepped it up to where now, and so shouldn't have to be like that.
Paint.
Yeah, it's pretty simple. Yeah. So anyway, I know we got a little off.
Well, you bring up a good point. It's something that I want to ask Rosemary about. Rosemary, if you don't mind sharing, what has been your experience with fad diets, any type of yo-yo diets? Have you tried any of that stuff in the past that they say is going to be a quick fix, or like Atkins, or any of the stuff that has come along that promised results fast? Have you had experience with that?
I've tried the Atkins diet. I've tried the fat flush diet, the cabbage soup diet.
Cabbage soup, I heard of that one too. Yeah.
Yes, I have even did Slim Fast.
That's right. That's a big one.
A lot of diet and it's like even we have like the 21-day fast. I did that. Now that didn't work, but once you go get off the fast and you go back to eating the weight comes right back on you, because I didn't learn how to maintain it. And it was like going right back into my old habits. Even on all of the diets that I've tried, it was like I didn't know how to maintain it. I lost the weight and I thought that was good. But then later on, I gained that weight back plus a little extra to go along with it. So that frustrates you even more. So you want to get to a place and do something where you want to be able to maintain what you have lost. Because I have lost at one time, weighed about 4 dress sizes. And I had this thing that I didn't want to give away no clothes. So I was frustrated. So I ended up getting back up there with the dresses.
You didn't want to give away your good clothes, huh? You were hanging on to them.
I didn't want to give them away and didn't want to do anything. So I ended up getting back there. But now I'm in the mindset now that, to let it go health-wise. And I've learned that it was a different way of doing it from the way that I was taught coming. Because being in all type of exercises and trying to learn and lose and listening at people and Facebook with a different idea, do this, do that, and you're trying all of these things. And none of these things seem to be working. It's just a little fix for a little while, but eventually you end up going back. So I needed to kind of get my mind right and move away from my fears and trust my faith to know that I can do this. And listening at Barry, he made it seem very simple. All of the hard parts that I was doing, it just seemed simple with him. And it was right there all the time, but I just didn't see it.
Yeah, I have to agree with you on that. 100%
I think again, but understanding biggest thing for her or everybody that does that is when she talks about losing weight or doing all those diets, again, you're losing fat, you're losing muscle. But all that weight she put back on every single time was more body fat.
Right.
So less metabolic. So it was a yo-yo. It's, like I said, I've said before, they say 95% of all diet, there's no diet doesn't work. You just want to get on diet and get on the scale and say, hey, look, I lost 10 pounds. But you got to understand what you're losing. You know what I mean? You're not putting any muscle on. And so you're calorie deprived. I don't know of any diet's not calorie deprived. There's not any diet that you're going to get on that's got you eating more. Every diet's designed to eat less, or take some pill to, suppress your diet, or it doesn't make me hungry. If I eat this, take this pill, I'm not as hungry as I used to be. That's not the answer. You know what I mean? So, you never get fat eating too much good food. Like I said, it just, like I said, I just showed up here and I ate my third meal 20, 30 minutes ago. And I can literally eat now. I'm hungry now. So you never, you should stay hungry all the time, basically, in a sense, because your body processes and burns that food up so well.
Well, we got Christmas coming up. I mean, Christmas is a food holiday.
Is it?
It is. I mean, around my house it is. Maybe,
Well, like for me, I've had them, so I know how good they are. People ask for. I make these double chocolate bourbon balls every year. I've been making them literally for my clients for.
Have you had one of those, Rosemary?
90s, huh?
Have you had that, Rosemary? You had those double chocolate bourbon balls that he makes? No?
No.
But I made like 7 dozen yesterday.
You didn't invite me.
I don't even, but I'm just saying, point is, would I eat one or try one? See if I just put them in the container, put them in the refrigerator, let them, the longer they stay in, the more intense they get and potent they get. But I can make all those, and I might not have one the whole before I give them all away. It's just, I can. I just don't choose to. Like I said, you just got to choose your battles, and that's not really one. But I'm not saying, look, as I said, we've said this 100 times. I don't make light of it. It is Christmas time. I get it. But everything in moderation. To have a cookie or a brownie or eat something, as long as you're eating all your other food and you jump off the horse and stop and eat something like that, that's a blip on your radar. But I wouldn't tell you, not to. If you want it, have it. It's not going to, she could have whatever. It wouldn't set her back to, get that dress back on and to be tight. When your metabolism working like that, the way it is now for her, it's just, probably a good thing, to be honest with you. Probably speed it up more.
Right.
That's a day thing or an evening thing. It isn't a week thing. You know what I mean? So it's just everything in moderation.
That's good advice, and that's actually music to my ears because I mean, Christmas coming around, you don't want to deprive yourself, like you mentioned, of this or that.
Yeah.
And how are the holidays for you, Rosemary? Is that something that usually the ladies of the family are the ones preparing this good food and preparing these great desserts? Is that something that is consistent for you?
Yes. Now it was tested on me for Thanksgiving, because Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays.
Me
I
too.
love to cook, and I love the family being around me, and me and my daughter and I, and we just fix a lot of stuff, and prepare. And so that was really a test for me, and I had the cakes, I had the pies and everything. So I have come up to get one cheat day. So I
Okay.
fixed one cheat day is either Sunday or either what day I wanted, just one. And I learned through the cheat day that I was able to eat what I wanted and still get back on track. But during the cheat time, the cakes and the pies, I really didn't want. So it got
Really?
into a way I really didn't. If I did got a piece of pie, it was a very small piece. And I made sure that when the kids left, all of the sweet left with them.
That's something that you're just talking about there, Barry. Once you get on this program and it comes time to indulge, you don't really have the appetite for it that
Yeah.
you thought you did.
Well, you do in a sense, but I tell you what happens is, like a buddy of mine gave me a great example. A buddy of mine at work with gave me some chips. Those the Quest makes them. They're a high protein potato chips, like 14 grams to a bag of chips. I've never had them. I was going to buy some. I thought, you know what, I'm not going to buy any. I think they're called Wild. But the other day I had lunch and I had probably half a bag, small bag of that. And I tell you what, it was a challenge, seriously, my next 2.5 hours later to eat my next meal, because it just doesn't, I already know what that's going to do to my system. Just doesn't digest well. I don't eat it well. And that's probably the biggest thing I do. I'm always looking forward to my next meal. So for me to have anything quite off my program, jacks up my next meal. So that's kind of why I don't do it. So, but for her, and it's also about changing the palate. You don't have that same, first of all, you can have it if you want it. It's not like you're depriving yourself. You can have it, but I think the more you can have it, the less you want to have it. To be honest with you, or at least that should be hopefully the way it goes.
Yeah,
But
without a
that's
doubt.
cool. I didn't, like I said, everything I'm learning about her today. We didn't talk about any of this, so it's kind of cool. And,
Yeah,
it's just working for her, so it's pretty awesome. Even the dress size I wasn't aware of. So
that's
uh,
incredible. I mean, you mentioned you have daughters. Any of this advice you pass down to your daughter, your son, your family?
I
Are
do. My
they
son
open?
is the. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Oh no, I was just asking if they were open. Are they interested?
Now, my son is vegan. Now, he is very interested. My daughter, she said, no, not yet, But she looks at me and she said, oh, you're doing real good. She said, keep it up. She encouraged me. But my son, he's interested in, what I'm doing and how to go about it. So I've been sharing it with him because he don't eat meat.
Yeah. Barry, what are your thoughts on? We haven't talked about that. That's something that I was very interested in, and I've tried for a while here with I don't know if I've really even tracked my results, but going vegan is something that I hear a lot of people talking about.
yeah, I'm not sure the reason. I mean, I'm not sure to understand. There's always different reasons why they do it. It's tough to get good protein on vegan, to be honest with you. I mean, beans and rice, there's some protein out there, but I don't know if vegan always means every kind of, meat, maybe it's just meat. They like fish, they like turkey, they like tuna fish, they like chicken. There's so many other, I'm not sure what that, entails. If it just means they don't eat beef, which is great, to be honest with you, it's not a bad thing. Um, you want to eat cleaner, leaner if you can. Like I said, chicken, pork chops, turkey, anything like that. So doesn't have to be beef, but I mean, to get your protein in, it'd be hard. I guess I'd be eating more than my 2 dozen eggs every day. I guess I'd be eating eggs every meal. So
Oh
if
man,
I
not
had to
not
go
more
that
about the
route,
eggs. Well, I do got to ask you this, Rosemary. Are you a coffee drinker?
Yes, love it.
Love coffee. Me too. Me too. What do you put in your coffee now? Have you changed what you put in it? Are you still pretty much the same?
I've always drank black coffee.
Really? So that just that complements this entire program, Barry.
Yes, I've always drank black coffee.
That complements the entire program because Barry was telling me if you're going to have coffee, you probably shouldn't put any in it. You say you can have the coffee, but the creamer and the sugar is where we go wrong, huh, Barry?
yeah, interesting. Now I drink my coffee. So I've been drinking, let's just say, ever since I started drinking, let's say 30 years. And I've always put sweet and low or some Splenda in my coffee. But even me, I'd say about 6 months ago, I went zero, no sugar, which I'm not that big. I'm not sure why. I just decided I ran out and I thought, you know what, I'm not going to buy any more. And I haven't used it. And I enjoy it. It's hard to say, the benefits or whatever for me because it's hard to be able to quantify that. But yeah, I'll do a little, not, a light cream, not even creamer, maybe a little skim, something, give it a little bit of color. Mine's those hazelnut something where you put in, they have the healthier ones, the pods or whatever they call them, just
Yeah.
to give it a little bit of color. But I've also drink it black. I do it more even. I enjoy a good cup of coffee. I mean, really do.
Me too.
But I'm always searching for good coffee. They're not all. I not throw them away. I give away more coffee than I probably drink, just because I end up trying something new and it turns out to be not a good cup of coffee. So, yeah.
Well, with that, the producer is flashing the light, Barry.
Oh, come on.
The producer is flashing the light, so I think we should start to wrap it up. But let me ask you this, Rosemary, before we get into any wrap up here. What are your holiday plans?
Hmm. Holiday plans. Well, it's to stay around the house. I have 8 grandkids.
Oh, wow.
I'm gonna enjoy them for the Christmas.
That sounds great. That
Yes, I'm
sounds great.
a family person.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, eight grandkids will keep you busy, that's for sure. Holy moly,
Yes, they will.
the Christmas shopping alone must be a week.
If we can, depends on how much that appearance fee you're going to give her. What I want to do in the weeks coming, if she's up for it, we're going to move this to go to the gym.
Okay.
In my gym here, where I like to put her through some workout, a total body workout.
Were you aware of that, Rosemary, or did he just
No,
spring
I
that
am
up on you?
now.
But I'd love
Okay.
to see, as far as like she's talking about not sure about her weights
Right.
or whatever she's lifting now. I want to just help her see what she's really capable of, something she probably wouldn't try. And that probably would help her even put her workout program together that she'll be able to follow when she goes to the gym. So I'd love for that to be whether it be next, the next, whatever is easy. I know it's holidays, putting something together where we can do that.
Oh, that would
Well,
be great.
yeah.
Mhm.
I agree. And if you enjoyed this video or found some value, a free way you can support the show is by hitting the like button. It really helps out the channel. Also by clicking the subscribe button and the notification bell. It's a completely free way to help the channel, and you'll be notified when we post another show. Of course, share your thoughts and questions down in the comments. We love reading what you have to say. How can people reach out to you directly, Barry?
Train with Barry, but like I said, what I like about Facebook Messenger, that's how Rosemary contacted me. That's how we still go back and forth with each other. So Messenger would be great. I think she just search. I don't know how she just
Search your name.
searched my name, and then she was able to reach out and say this person's trying to, and I'll just accept it, and then we go from there. So that'd be honestly the easiest way if we have any questions or want to lose a dress size like Rosemary did in just 4 short weeks.
There you go. Well, and there you have it. Thank you so much, Rosemary. It's been a pleasure speaking with you today.
Thank you. It has been also with you.
Merry Christmas to you both.
Yes,
And
sir.
until
Merry
next
Christmas to you,
time.
and I'll see you soon.
Yes, sir. Until next time. Thank you, Barry. Bye,
Yes, sir.
Rosemary.
Bye-bye.